The city, I would say me personally, is very interested in reducing the incidence of speeding throughout the city, downtown especially, as it increasingly becomes a venue, a crowded venue on the weekends. And we want to continue to encourage that, but in a way that's both safe for the driving public as well as the pedestrian public and bicyclers. We are talking regularly about efforts to create safe environments, especially, again, downtown. I would also say that we're talking to Chief Layton at length over the past year or two. They've stepped up efforts. In fact, since October, they've issued over 1,000 citations, speeding citations. I encourage that, and I will continue to do so. That is all about increasing safety, again, downtown as well as throughout the city. Specific to downtown, we're also working, as council is likely aware, we've talked about this in the past, on conversions of one-way to two ways. Eventually, we're doing some work in 2023. Again, we've got significant infrastructure that is two-lane, one-way traffic, and the idea is to reverse that trend on major corridors over time, so that that one-way traffic becomes two-way traffic. Most experts will tell you that in and of itself slows traffic as well. We've also have additional bump outs downtown and are continuing to talk about other infrastructure, again, that traffic calming measures that will help, again, reduce speed throughout the city of Fredericksburg. We are serious about taking additional initiatives to do just that, and obviously we want to hear from council about what they're hearing so that we can take that into consideration as we move forward. Again, happy to talk further about the business district if that's helpful to you as well.
Thank you. I just wanted the public to understand this is not the be-all to end-all of solving our speeding problems downtown.
Yes, sir. More work to come for sure. There's, in fact, we won't stop looking at initiatives that, again, create safe environments, especially downtown. And again, happy to have your input throughout this process.
While I'm definitely in support of this, definitely in support of making downtown safer for everyone, I think one of the issues we're going to find, and maybe have found, Mr. Blvd, you mentioned the number of citations that our police department has been issuing, but at the same time, and I think we might have all seen this story in the Freelance Star, in the past week about the number of automobile accidents and fatalities, and that they are unfortunately increasing, not just in Fredericksburg or Virginia, but across America, and the citations, I think they're good, but I don't think that it's enough, and I do hope that we take this as an intermediate step, with the final step being designing the streets for the speed we want them to be. I truly believe that you don't monitor speed limits to get people to drive more slowly. You design the street in a way that will induce people to want to drive more slowly themselves. So as we continue this discussion, I recognize that it's much easier for us to lower a speed limit than to provide the infrastructure in a way that is conducive to that. But I do hope we continue to find more ways, whether it's finding ways to reduce lane widths as well as the converting one-way to two-way, and also taking a look at some opportunities for even pedestrian boulevards. In selected areas of downtown. I think we've got a lot of opportunities that are not just for safety, but for economic development as well. And so I hope that we can keep looking at some of the some of the ideas off the beaten path as well. Thank you.
I'm willing to consider it. Right now, I look at this in a situation of we're going to end up writing a lot more speeding tickets, and I just don't know, as the great Doug Fawcett, who has been here and commented on this around this horseshoe on a number of occasions, as his rallying cry being, you can't change a person's driving habits with a sign. So as we move this forward, I think it needs to be more of a holistic discussion on exactly what kind of traffic calming policies are we looking at, what is the enforcement issue going to be. I'd like to hear from the police chief, because at the same time, I know that there's a lot of other things police department's doing. We need to know how much effort and everything else is going to put into this too. But I think this needs to be more of a holistic discussion, that this will be a piece of, and then we're planning to do traffic calming you design, hear from the police department what they can and cannot do with regards to manpower, and then make a decision on more of a package as opposed to just one little incremental change. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Kelly. And Councilor Devine.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I agree. I think it's a combination of street design, enforcement, but also, I had asked the police chief this question when we talked about this previously, but I am curious as to the citations, the breakdown, whether it's, if we have any demographic breakdown, or, is it people who are local? Is it people who are out of town, who are getting the most citations? Is there an age group? And I only say that because if we are trying to potentially change some habits, it may be helpful to, again, talk to our driver's ed folks, make sure our hotels, that there's, maybe some awareness there for people who are driving from hotels through our city, just to add to the education piece when it, again, I think it is helpful for people to understand what it means. It's not just about the ticket, it's about safety. So if we can work on that, but again, targeting people in a positive way as far as, if we're seeing, again, citations being written for certain ages or out-of-towners or something. Anyway, thank you.